Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah,
We got it! We got it!
New 52 booklet.
somebody clip this.
Welcome to Under Two Capes. I am Jared. I'm here with Teladia Plays. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, everybody? What another exciting Under Two Capes episode we've got for you today.
Hell yeah. So today, Crisis came out. Loved it. You can see my review right now on the channel. But what I wanted to do is talk about first, like, our favorite DC animated projects, like our favorite animated movies that have come out, like top five, or like we'll freeform it. Then I want to talk about what does post-crisis DC animation look like, because that's a big question mark.
That is a big
going out there. So let's start with animation. So in terms of like our favorite animation, mine are in no particular order. It's just like my top five, what I've enjoyed the most. Under the Red Hood is one. Because first off, that is legit. Like, I'm always astounded when they can get that close to what the comic was. Because I saw the movie after reading the comic, and it's something when you can actually like visualize the movie while you're reading the comic. I felt the same way when I watched 300.
Yeah, and the thing is with this adaptation, the style of it was round about the time Young Justice was actually coming around as well, mind you.
So it's kind of in that, and Greenwood is Batman in this as well. So hey, interesting about that. He's a good Batman. And the thing the changes they did make, like they cut out obviously all the Infinite Crisis, Superboy Prime punching reality BS, and just went with the new 52, because it was like, yeah, because that was, if I remember correctly, this came out after the new 52.
No.
Oh, it didn't?
It was before the new 52.
Okay. So you know what's kind of funny? I bet so. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so the reason why I was confused because the new 52 also cut out the stupid like reality punching thing and just went with Lazarus Pit. So I'm like, okay, thank you, but okay, it came out before. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the animated movie came out, I believe, in 2010, 2011, round about that time. So it was just before the new 52 launched in the comics, and it was before the animated
movie came out in 2010.
Yeah, so it was well before. Yeah,
well before. Yeah, we also got Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd, which I gotta agree with Nick.
Perfect casting.
I would love him to play Jason Todd or like a Batman character, maybe even Batman. We also get you know who plays the Riddler in this movie. Who's my least favorite person when it comes to DC animation?
Bruce Timm.
Yes. So I'm like,
wait, Bruce Timm plays Riddler?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, like, excuse me, that doesn't. No wonder I find him creepy.
Well, I bet you that this version of the Riddler wants Batman with Batgirl. But anyway, continuing. I had to. So, yeah, so Under the Red Hood is actually pretty solid. My next one that I'm going to have to go with is I'm going to give a little love to our boy in blue. The adaptation of Superman Unchained, the adaptation of Superman Brainiac.
Superman Unbound.
Unbound, yeah. I knew it was one of the titles. But I love that the action in that is so good. Like when Superman shows up in Metropolis and he's like going through the Jones, he says, and you just see boom, 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 and then he's like, you see like he's blasting dudes with heat vision, and then he fights Brainiac, obviously, and that Brainiac design was actually pretty dope.
Fun fact for you guys: they were gonna adapt it into a video game simultaneously with that animated movie.
That would have been so good. Oh my gosh. Dude, that would have been so awesome.
And it was named under the same name, Superman Unbound.
Well, yeah, and they did have like a lot of animated movies coming out for like games coming out that coincided with animated movies. So that wouldn't have been that bad. Yeah, and the thing I like about it is like how they brought in Supergirl, how they factored into the fact that she's like angry all the time and such. So I really dug that. Plus, I like the whole Superman and Supergirl dynamic because, again, it's like one of those, she expected to protect him, but he's protecting her. It's actually really cool. Obviously, I don't like Lois, but just assume I mean that whenever I do this. Number 3, Batman, Superman, Apocalypse.
You can't go wrong.
It's a Trinity movie. Come on. You got the classic OGs voicing their characters. They recreated Michael Turner's art. Like legit, they use the art style of Michael Turner for the animation, and it's like page to screen adapted so freaking well. It really like surprises me. It surprises and delights me when they can get that close to the animation. I mean, to the original comic. What do you think?
I agree with you. It's like it is close to the comic, right? But like, how did you feel about the dialogue?
Which dialogue?
In the movie, like within the movie, like how did you feel about between the characters? And
it's straight up the comic. It's legit the comic, and they cut out stuff that they can cut out and make it like, okay, I don't really need this. And it is like remarkable how legit that adaptation is. And the action scenes are freaking solid with like Superman destroying an army of Doomsdays just by going, brr, heat vision. He goes, this ends now.
And I also got to talk about the fact that how the designs are 1-to-1 to the comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one
again
thing.
Michael Turner's art style. They recreated that. Now, when I see, again, this is one of those occasions where I watched the animated movie before reading the comic, and when I saw the comic, I was like, "Oh, you legit got that."
And the animation score. Come on, the animation score for the movie, brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I love content that factors in like the new gods and stuff. So it's really, really, really cool when the new gods get represented, because Lord knows they don't enough.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But I was also going to say, this was the first time I believe in animation we got the female Furies in animation film.
Yeah, I think so. And that's also really cool because I really like the female Furies when it comes to like Apocalypse. Again, I'm a big like Fourth World Jack Kirby fan. So whenever they are faithfully represented well, I'm like, okay, you know what? I really like this. You're doing fantastic jobs representing some of the characters that I really, really, really like.
Yeah. 110%.
Yeah.
What's your next movie?
All right. Justice League Throne of Atlantis. Because here's the thing. Yes, it has Super Wonder, and that's one of the reasons why. But it's a kick-ass Aquaman movie. Like the score. Speaking of the freaking score, the dun 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 dun, and it feels royal. It feels epic, and then you factor in it. Okay, it's in terms of like the general storyline of Throne of Atlantis, which is Atlantis invades Earth. Yeah, it pretty much follows those same beats. Orm takes over as king. So for the most part. Let me put it this way. Is it the most faithful? No. but does it get the point of the story? Yes. Do I think they rushed to Super Wonder, and it would have been nice to see a little bit more of the build-up? But the comic did that too, so really it's comic accurate in that way.
Yeah, technically they had Super Wonder in it. That's the one thing. But the one disappointing, I said the only one disappointing thing is Shazam in this movie.
Yeah, well, because here's the thing. Shazam was not the original on the original Justice League in the new 52. It was Aquaman, as a matter of fact. And I guess that they wanted to go with to put Aquaman in Throne of Atlantis. If I ever get James Tucker on the show, I'll ask him about this. Where since they were doing Throne of Atlantis next, they probably just wanted to say, just make that the Aquaman origin story, and we'll just go with that. Which I get it. Still would have liked to have that Aquaman in the beginning, but you know what? I can dig. You made the most of a situation. You know what? I could respect that.
Yeah.
Then that was 4, I think, right?
That was, yeah, I believe that's.
All right, I got one more.
So hold on. So you did Under the Red Hood. You did Superman. You did Superman Unbound.
Apocalypse. Okay, yeah. That was 4. So next one, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit. Crisis on Infinite Earths as a trilogy.
The trilogy. Let's call it Crisis.
It's one story.
Crisis
It's one story. So you know what? I'll go with that because this is the way I recommend viewing it. Watch it as one movie. Do not watch these in parts. Still agreed with me on this. They should have released like it in 2 parts, combined 1 and 2, and then fleshed out 3, because it flows better that way. But the other reason why I really like Crisis, and we'll talk about this, is it improved War World, because Teladia, you and I had the same complaint about War World, where it's like, what are those Batman and Wonder Woman shorts have anything to do with the story? They literally reference them in Crisis Part 3. They are key plot points.
Yeah, they were building up to it from War World.
So, you know what? Do I wish they would have done more to like factor that in? I mean, Batman does kind of see Barry as like a vision. He says, Lois Lane is the key. I'm only kidding. Wait, that was in a way better Justice League universe. But anyway, my point is they did kind of do that, but they could have done a better job of like, in terms of writing, of linking those two together, because from where we were at that point, they looked very separate. And then the other reason why I like Crisis, and this is really more in the Tomorrowverse in general, they treated Wonder Woman with reverence and respect instead of turning her into a mouthpiece. Because I was talking to Britt about this on the live stream, like I think it was last week, as we reviewed Crisis, and I asked her what's your favorite animated Wonder Woman. And she said, pre-Death of Superman, it's the Camus, because like it's a younger Diana who's inexperienced and learning about everything. Now, it's Tomorrowverse. Plus, I love the accent, played by the same voice actress for Talia al Ghul in the Arkham games.
Yes.
That's really good. But yeah, so those are my 5 favorite. And really, again, those are in any order. They vacillate. There's no like, number 1, this is what I see as peak DC animation. These are just the ones that I enjoyed the most. Obviously, there are a few honorable mentions like Justice League War, Dark Apocalypse War, probably. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that I want to put out there. Definitely not Wonder Woman Bloodlines or the Wonder Woman 2009 one. Because they just turned Wonder Woman into a sex joke / a mouthpiece. But anyway, so Teladia, let's start with you. What are your 5 favorite DC animated projects?
Okay, number 5, I have to kick this off, is Under the Red Hood. Same as you.
There you go.
For the same reasons. Almost one-to-one adaptations from the comic. The artwork, the animation, the voice work, the voice talent, all great. The score was great.
Solid.
Number 4, you're going to be surprised by this, is Superman All-Star Superman.
That's in my honorable mentions. Yeah, that was a great one. My one complaint with it They left out the scene of Superman going, "You are so much stronger than you think you are."
Yeah.
They got the other part, so they got the gist of the story again. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can dig that. And I think Sam worked on that, so we should have him on and talk about that, so I can see why was that left out. Oh, yeah, he directed it.
That'll be a really good movie night.
Yeah.
But number 3, yes, it's number 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3 is Justice League War.
Yes. Because that is legit. Short of Shazam being on the League instead of Aquaman, that is page to screen, that book. That is Justice League Origin, the book.
Yeah, agreed. Number 2, no, actually, let me do honorable mention first, then do number 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Honorable mention, I would have to put this, is Son of Batman.
Okay, that's a good one. I mean, essentially, Court of Owls. Well, actually, that's not Court of Owls.
That was Batman versus Robin.
Okay, yeah. This one is adapting the first arc of Grant Morrison's Batman, which ironically was post-Crisis, but still, it's the Damian Wayne movie. Which, yeah, I dig that. Except, Deathstroke is kind of iffy in these movies, but yeah, I enjoyed those movies. I'll give you that.
Okay, number 2, I'm gonna have to say, is Superman Unbound. And because
so you're telling me the Superman fan, most of his favorite animated projects involve Superman? Shock.
Yes. Because it's there. And then we're gonna make a video game about it too. That's what really
that would have been so freaking dope.
I even have concept art for that game too.
Is that the image you sent me that one time of like the new 52 suit in a video game?
No, this is the one with the concept art where he looks like almost like Man of Steel-ish.
I need this game.
Honestly, and he was gonna have Doomsday and Brainiac as the villains.
That would have been dope.
Back to the movie night. Another honorable mention is actually, I'm gonna bring this up, is Batman's Superman Public Enemy.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that movie. The art style is a little weird for me, and I get that. Again, it's another one of those ones where they recreated the art style from the book. It's just an animation, it kind of looked kind of off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun movie. I'll give you that.
And then the number 1, come on, you can't like. Oh yeah, let me do one more. Okay. One more honorable mention that we'll do. I have to say, the honorable mention is Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
You gotta say Mask of the Phantasm. Honestly, that's an honorable on my list too, because you can't ask that question and not put Mask of the Phantasm on.
You can't put Kevin Conroy. You can't have a film without Kevin Conroy on the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the number 1 is the Crisis trilogy, and because Wonder Woman was a pivotal part of that film. So, and the fact that everything glued well, and also we got cameos left, right, and center from the DCAU to Camus to the
they respected Kevin Conroy.
They respected Kevin Conroy. You even had freaking Super Friends as a cameo.
I did not see that one coming. About obviously spoilers, but you've had a week to watch this movie. But when they cut the Super Friends, I'm like, okay. I love how with Earth 2003, which is the Teen Titans, they just show the tower and it's just dead.
Yeah.
So because again, according to Craig, they did not have that big of a budget for a lot of this, so they couldn't show you the Teen Titans. That's what people are like misunderstanding. I love the people that are complaining about Crisis. They destroyed my childhood. And I said this in my video. I'm like, first off, they're adapting a storyline called Crisis on Infinite Earths. You know what happens in Crisis, right?
Yeah.
The multiverse is destroyed. And second off, they didn't destroy your childhood. You know why? Here's a lesson for you. You probably have them on DVD. Go watch the DVDs. They're still there. That's the problem with like having everything tell one massive story, is that people forget that if you want to read it, rebooting or anything like that doesn't invalidate those stories. You can still read those stories.
Agreed.
But anyway, yeah, so that's actually a really good choice. Now, let's transition to our last topic here. Post-crisis DC animation. It's actually good that we both have Crisis so close to the end, so it's a good transition. But so the multiverse is destroyed in this, and there's one world, which is the way the comic ended. So actually, well done. The problem with that,
it's not New 52.
No, but it's not that, because Crisis did not lead to that. But my problem with it is that James Gunn says, okay, so I'm going to have animation, and then there's going to be Elseworlds animation. But the multiverse is destroyed. Now, it's not necessarily his fault, because it's not necessarily Craig's fault, because here's the thing. He wrote this in 2020, and a lot of stuff was like up in the air later with the whole sales. They didn't know who was going to be in charge of DC. So they wrote this to wrap up all these animated projects.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, so what do you think, what direction do you think, what hashtag new direction, do you think DC animation should go in at this point?
I think what will end up going is in the James Gunn direction.
So you're saying all the projects will be James Gunn inspired?
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna. That's what's gonna happen. I think that's what's gonna end up happening. Do I want that? No. I'd rather have it like separate universe. I would like it to be something. I don't know. Maybe a certain absolute.
If they start adapting the absolute universe, we have to see if that's gonna be popular enough. But yeah, I see what you're going with, dude.
A certain absolute would be an ideal choice for Warner.
I think that would be absolutely hilarious if they went in that direction. I had to.
No, but that would be a good choice for Warner Brothers Animation, because they really could have done a lot of different ways. But I think what Warner Brothers will end up doing is we're going, oh, James Gunn, you take the reins. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. But I'm like, why are you continuing with like My Adventures with Superman or something like that? It doesn't make a lot of the stuff doesn't make a lot of sense. That's the
confusing.
Thing.
It's confusing.
And that's what you want to do when you're starting off a universe. Confuse your audience. That's what you want to do.
I don't want to be confused. I'm not confused.com.
Yeah, I know. But really, the way I could see them doing it, at least now, is remember when they did all those showcase shorts that would come out at like when they have the Superman versus Shazam versus Black Adam, when they had that showcase short of like, say, Adam Strange or the Spectre or Green Arrow. They could just start doing that again, because those were really fun. And you got to showcase a lot of older characters. Mm-hmm. A lot of older, very interesting characters. Because really, at this point, if you do like anthology stuff, you don't have to worry about it being in continuity or something like that. You can just tell fun stories. Plus, you can adapt really short, like one-issue storylines that people like.
Case in point, you could have done the Dark Knight universe, the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, Batman, Superman Year One, you could have done, and it could be, you could like, how do I explain it? So you know how they didn't show the Crisis in Crisis, they never showed the Dark Knight Returns universe,
but they basically implied that all of the worlds on the multiverse are destroyed.
But the thing is, was it ever in the beginning? Because the Camus ended. Right, and the new multiverse started, but I'm confused by this, right? So does this mean the DCAU started?
Oh God, you're right. Oh my gosh, yeah, it kind of means that the DCAU was the offspring of Barry going back in time to kill Darkseid.
It confuses the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah, but. Yeah, that is really weird when you think about it. So technically, the DCAMU created the DCAU.
You know what? That should be a tweet, Jared. Say that. Make that tweet.
That's got to be a tweet, and then the caption is, "Yeah, this isn't confusing at all."
But yeah, I just think the way I see it is, if they're gonna do another universe, try and do a different animation style. Please don't go back to the same animation style. You went janky and
they
whatnot.
won't. But here's the problem: it still probably will be janky because DC does not put a lot of because they don't get a large enough budget for it to be that big. Because again, DC still looks. I mean, WB still looks down on animation. They shouldn't, because this is DC and that's DC's bread and butter. But that's the way DC is.
It's Warner Brothers.
Suck it, Warner Brothers. Actually, you know what? I think I have that clip. You know what? I'll play it. I'll play it. As said by the wise sage himself.
Yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
There you go. I think that's it. I think that's very wise, Zach. But really, with that, yeah, in terms of like one universe, I think what they'll do is honestly, what's more likely is that the next guy's gonna come in, whoever that is. Imagine if it's Sam Leone, he's coming to me for like advice on DC stuff. Honestly, at this point, I feel like they're just going to, whoever comes in next is just going to ignore the Crisis movie and just say, yeah, that happened there, but the multiverse still exists.
But how's that going to work for the DCAU?
They'll just say, no, it wasn't wiped out. It wasn't wiped out. We're done. We're good.
Yeah, it's going to confuse a lot of fans. Let's leave it like that.
This is
right?
DC. They're all about confusing fans. What are you talking about?
No, I mean the general audience as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, DC is known for confusing the general audience, so it's not like that's anything new.
I just had the thought.
What?
What if, right? You know the ending of Crisis? The post-credit was the Wonder Woman. What if that's the starting point to James Gunn's animated movie universe?
I don't see. I see what you're saying there, but I think James Gunn even said that that's not like that was part. Oh, you mean he's gonna go in there and retroactively say, "Oh yeah, it's part of my universe"?
Yeah, because you think about it, there's a rumor of an animated Wonder Woman, animated movie. Just thinking about it, or TV series.
God, this is so basically Gunn is gonna take everything he feels threatened by and say it's mine now.
Yeah, basically.
That is stupid. I really don't want that, but likely that's the direction they'll go in again because it's DC and they like being annoying.
Yeah,
it's just, can't we get like a solid thing without interference? Can we get that once, please?
It's Warner Brothers.
And Teladia's right. I love Teladia. I'm like, can we get this? And Teladia's like, nope.
Nope,
I love that.
Nope,
That's good.
Nope.
He's right. He's totally right. It's not like he's wrong, but I'm just like,
I'm always right.
I on Comics League, I'm always right. We've established this. We're talking about comics, bro. In terms of gaming, yes, you are always right. In terms of comics, I am always right. It is why it's called Comics League, after all. But really, now, what's interesting, I am interested about what they're going to do with Wonder Woman in the new universe, because, again, this one set the bar so high that they respected her. Are they going to turn her into another Batman simp?
I hope not. I want a Superman simp.
Watch them do Superman and Wonder Woman. All the Wonder Woman fans are like, no, because they're not going to put Wonder Woman with Cheetah. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I don't know why that is ever a thing.
I'll never know.
Yeah, but the thing is, when it comes to like Wonder Woman, what fans have to understand is that DC does not respect the character at all. So ultimately, I'm like, I get that we all want Wonder Woman to be properly represented. And you know what? Yeah, she should be, because she and Teladia and I were on a stream where someone was arguing with me about this. It's essentially, yeah, because Wonder Woman is like
the quintessential.
Not only that, it's like she is supposed to be like She is the third member of the Trinity, according to DC. Again, according to DC, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is true. But the thing is with Wonder Woman is like, if DC is putting this much emphasis on her, they should put more into properly representing the character. The problem is they don't, because they don't see her as a worthy investment.
That's the problem. Even though David Zaslav, the head of the Warner Brothers Discovery, literally said Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman will be the prioritizing for DC. He literally said that. I remember that in an earnings call, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's like,
it's kind of interesting how he listed Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman as separate IPs from DC, but that's kind of interesting how he did that.
but you get what my point is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he's saying that he's going to prioritize them, why isn't James Gunn not doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why isn't Warner Brothers Animation not doing that? That's
true.
another because we should have had at least 3, maybe 4, Wonder Woman animated films.
We were supposed to, because by the way, you know what the title of the original title for JSA World War II is supposed to be? Wonder Woman and the JSA. And then the JSA, there was supposed to be like a couple more JSA movies, and they would have shown like what happens from the end of JSA to like practically Crisis.
No, but they could have done like an Elseworld Wonder Woman, film. Maybe
fun.
Something like in the Gotham by Gaslight universe.
Gotham by Gaslight, Wonder Woman. I wonder if she exists. They're doing the Kryptonian era nowadays, so I guess that kind of works. But in terms of like, first off, in terms of animation, I think that they could have done like, obviously we want Superman and Wonder Woman. They've kind of done that, but I would like it to be respected. But if I have to go with strictly Wonder Woman, they could do just the Perez run and just do a series of movies on the Perez run and just be done with that.
They could have done Kingdom Come and they've never done that yet.
Yes. Well, we need the problem with that. And like I said earlier about recreating the art style of the original artist, Alex Ross is very hard to replicate because it's so hyper realistic.
It doesn't need to be replicated. That's the thing. You can go with a different direction, a different art style, but still be.
But I get it, but part of the thing that made Kingdom Come so epic is the Alex Ross artwork. If they could figure out a way to do that, yes, do that, because that would be fantastic as an animated movie. It's just like, do you want it to look, because they're not going to be able to afford an Alex Ross guy to do it.
Mind you, he is gonna he is doing a documentary for Kingdom Come. So me just thinking, it is
which we will be reviewing, by the way.
Which makes me think, will Warner Brothers ever touch the Kingdom Come universe in terms of animation? Because they're not gonna do it in live action. They're doing the kind of reverse for Kingdom Come in live action, but they need like a straight up 1-to-1 adaptation for Kingdom Come. Right? First you do the Justice storyline for one film, and then the second film is straight up Kingdom Come.
You could. I mean, well, let me see here. In terms of, I mean, yeah, in other words, it makes sense, and you could definitely do that. It's more complicated, and you have to like factor in like trying to make it look at least a little bit like Alex Ross. And you can. There are some animated movies that do that. It's not like it's impossible. Let me put it this way. If they can figure it out, if they can do it properly, yes, go ahead. I am 100% cool with that. Do I think they'll do it? Not that much, but I don't know. It's still a possibility. The animated movie I would like to see actually is, and Teladia actually inspired this, Power Couple. The first arc of Superman, Wonder Woman. Because ignoring the romance part, that's a cool part of it. But you get Superman and Wonder Woman versus Feora and Zod. Who doesn't want to see that? You get Wonder Woman punching Apollo, the god of the sun. Who doesn't want to? You get Superman saying, "You really don't know that much about me, do you?"
But they'll never do it though. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's one of those things where we have all these great storylines that they could adapt, but they won't. The best time to do Superman Wonder Woman power couple was in the early days of the Decamu, when they were literally adapting New for 52 storylines. That's what would have been the best option to do that. But as we know, DC and good ideas don't always mix.
Well. They don't mix together.
It's like, that's why we got a Super Sons movie. I'm only kidding, Tevia. But in terms of like, so I think that for what animation should do, stick with self-contained one-off projects for right now until you like figure out if you want to do another universe, because then you could just do Infinite Crisis and that rebuilds the multiverse, because that was the point of storyline.
But I think Frank Miller's Dark Knight universe would be the really good point for them, because they could touch that.
They already have Dark Knight Returns,
but they've never done. They've done Batman Year One, but they've never done Superman Year One. Right? I know it's not the greatest comic book, but it would be a starting point for them in terms of universes.
Yeah, I could see that. And they already have the Dark Knight Returns movie. Just make it a sequel to that. Which, by the way, so that's an honorable mention right there. Dark Knight freaking Returns. You know what they did? The hell? They split it into 2 movies. So they can put everything in there. That's what, if they do Kingdom Come, split it into 2 movies, because that way you don't have to cut anything for like time. Just adapt it. Obviously, yes, some stuff is not going to translate well to animation, so they can't do everything. But if you split it, you don't have to worry about, we wanted to put this in, but we ran out of time. You don't have to worry about that, because you're already splitting in half. They did that with Crisis, because honestly, there's no way they could have told Crisis in 1 movie.
No, there's no way you could do it.
There's no way. 2 movies, yes, that is completely doable. 1 movie, no, one. Let me put it this way: if it were a 2.5-hour animated movie, they could. But in an 1.5-hour movie, no, you need that extra hour. That's why they split it. They split it in too many parts, but that's besides the point.
You know that live animation style you told me about, where they could do the Snyderverse?
Basically, you mean like Love, Death, and Robots? Yeah.
Yeah.
If they could afford that, yeah. If they can afford that, that's the problem. DC can't afford these good options.
That would be a really good option, to use that format as an Alex Ross artwork in a Kingdom Come universe film. Just saying, hey, DC, I'm coming up with some brilliant ideas. Hire me.
Well, DC should hire us, because you, me, Britt, Nick, Jay Heat, Sammy, we'd all fix DC easily.
It's too easy for us.
It's called respecting the fan bases. That's what you want to do, because here is the problem with this, and this is why what Crisis did well. Yes, it whittled down the multiverse, but most of the animated projects were treated with respect. DCAU was. They even resolved the plot thread with John and Shiera in there, which I felt was like more generous than I think we deserve, but I'll take it. And when we got Conroy going, I care about the end of the world Joker. It's just if I'm going out as Batman. And that is 100% that Batman. But really, and we can talk about this on a future episode, but I really think DC has to start respecting their fans more. But I think that is a good place to end this episode. Let us know below your favorite DC animated projects. We all know what at least one of Tevia's is going to be. I'm sorry, dude. I have to have that dig. Tevia, all love, brother. But Teladia, how about you let the kind people at home know where they can find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
So you guys can check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays, and you can check me out on Twitter at Teladia Plays _ what I've got coming up on my channel. Well, by the time this video has gone up, you've seen my reaction to Superman and Lois season 4 teaser trailer reaction. That is going up to that'll be up. Also, the Marvel Rivals beta live stream will be happening, and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League gameplay stream with Jared will also be a thing too. So I've also got that. And then next week is our San Diego Comic-Con coverage, as we're going to be covering what happened at the event, then we'll be talking about it in depth in a live stream. So you probably want to tune in for that. It's a special live stream because not only that, I also reached 2K subscribers on YouTube. So it's a special, very, very special stream. So stay tuned for that.
Exactly. And as for Comics League, Britt and I are going to be having a lot of fun episodes coming out. We're going to do like Battle of the we're going to do Battle of the Sexes, which is essentially going to be male fans versus female fans. Where's that line go? And we'll talk about this week's Super Wonder is Britt and I are going to be talking about a retrospective into how Superman and Wonder Woman were treated in the Tomorrowverse. And then we'll be discussing next week will be our 52nd episode, which is special because not only are we going to be doing a complete deep dive on the new 52 as a live stream, it'll be the 1 year anniversary of the show starting.
Ooh.
So we are going to be celebrating that. But so that's about all I want to promote for right now. But and by the way, and movie night is going to be, so this is coming out on Friday tonight at TBD. Watch my community post for an announcement of the time, and we'll be watching Rebel Moon Part 1, the extended cut. Anyway, stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs with General Zod. Zoe is the Max about for life. We will see you later.